How much should you charge for your coaching packages to make the most money and also get the most clients? You see, most coaches are afraid to charge what they're worth because they're worried that they will get less clients. So they charge less money in the hopes they'll get more clients. Problem is, it doesn't always work that way. So let's talk about this. So the biggest thing you need to understand is that getting clients for less money doesn't equal, at the end of the day, more money. Very rarely does it do that. But the problem is the majority of coaches out there have this concept that charging more will make more people leave. Not the case. So let's dig into this. The first thing you need to understand is that charging less doesn't get you more clients from the same amount of lead flow. Okay? So what you need to understand is that there is this thing called price elasticity. Okay? And let's say that you charge $1,000. Theoretically, in most cases, for your coaching package, 1,000 till about 3,000, it gets about from my experience anyways, the same enrollment rate. 3,000 to 5,000, about the same enrollment rate. 5,000 to 7,500, about the same enrollment rate. 7,500 to say 12K, roughly the same enrollment rate. So what a lot of coaches have done is they've pegged their pricing at the low part of this spectrum, and they're afraid to raise it. So what you need to do, first of all, is you need to understand, number one, that there's this thing called price elasticity, and you want to be at the higher end of that price elasticity in terms of charging for your coaching services. The next thing you need to understand is that charging less makes sure you make less money. Here's why. Eventually, you're going to run out of organic traffic, meaning referrals. You'll max out your personal network, say on your Facebook following, your LinkedIn connections, all that kind of stuff. And you're going to have to turn the ads on, okay? Now, the problem is if you go to turn the ads on and you're charging too little, there's going to be no profit. You'll just end up getting a whole bunch of clients, doing a whole bunch of work, and really not keeping anything for yourself. And so a lot of coaches struggle with understanding the math, okay? And so by charging too little, what it does is you might get a lot of people, but you won't be able to make the math work. And then what happens then is you're going to be in a lot of trouble, and you're going to have a ton of clients, and you're not going to know what to do with them. Now, the next thing you need to understand in terms of this, in terms of charging and what you should charge and all that kind of stuff, you need to market to the segment who has the money, who can afford what you have, versus making a bad income segment your segment and forcing them to buy. Here's what I mean. Let's take Las Vegas, for example. If you've ever been to Las Vegas, on the Strip, if you stretch it out the whole length of it, you will see that there is on two different spectrums. There's the high-end hotels like the Wynn, and we'll just go with the Wynn, for example. But then you have more of the lower budget ones like, say, Circus, or across the freeway, you have the Rio, okay? And on any given night, on a slower night during the midweek or something like that, when there's not a lot of conventions going on, the Rio can be about $20 a night, $30 a night. Circus, same thing, $30 a night, something like that. Now, you're not going to have somebody at, say, the Rio look across the freeway to the Wynn and be like, oh my gosh, the Wynn's half price. It's only regular $500 for a room, and we can get a room there for $250. That's 50% off. Nobody says that, okay? Also, nobody would stay at the Wynn, pay $500 a night to get a strip view on, the 15th floor, or a really, great view overlooking everything, would look over to the Rio, which is across the freeway, and say, why didn't we stay there? Why did we spend $500 a night on this hotel when we could have spent $30? I mean, you're going to pay more for parking most nights with the tip, for valet parking at the Wynn than you would just paying for a room at the Rio or Circus, or you go down to Fremont Street on some of those hotels. So why doesn't everybody stay at Fremont Street or one of these cheaper budget hotels? Why are there so many people staying at the high-end hotels? Why did the Fontainebleau just come on board, which is a 67-story hotel, a luxury hotel trying to compete with the Wynn? What about the Bellagio? What about the Venetian? All these hotels. And what you will see in Vegas is they're trying to build bigger hotels catering to more higher end people. Why? Because they know that's where the money is, and they know, excuse me, excuse me, for the same building size, right? They can have less rooms, bigger, charge way more money, basically less staff. Everything's just better and easier than having this same building just piling in cheap rooms, and it just doesn't make any sense. But you got to realize Vegas has been very smart about targeting the various income how do you say it? Excuse me, segments. Okay, so there's a group of people in your niche who won't really do anything. You just leave them alone. There's another group who'll spend $100. Well, you don't really want to cater to them because look, if you're trying to get your coaching business to say $10,000 a month, I mean, you need 100 sales a month at $100. So when's the last time you sold 100 of anything in a month, right? That's a lot of work every month. And that's not, excuse me, just getting over the flu. That's not factoring in traffic costs, right? So then there's another group who'll spend, 1,000 or less. Well, now that's a little better because you only need 10 of those to get to 10,000, but you're still going to have traffic costs. And then the other group is going to be, realistically, they spend based on value in terms of like, do they feel like the cost of this thing is less than the cost of not doing it? And those are the people who you want. That's the same thing as Vegas. People are the segment, the pie slice that stays at the nice hotels is doing it based on because it gives them a great experience. They really like it. They like how they feel. It's relaxing. If they really wanted to save money, everybody would shop at Walmart all the time for everything, or you know what I'm saying, or everybody would stay at the cheapest hotels in Vegas, and Vegas makes the money off the big expensive ones, right? So that's what you need to understand about this. Now, the next thing you need to do, so what is with understanding what to do next. Now, before we get to that, I want to tell you about a couple things. First of all, if you like this video, please click the like button and hit the subscribe so that I can get you more videos, because I got a whole pile of videos coming down the pipeline that are going to be coming out. I wouldn't want you to miss any of them, because you never know if one of them's going to be the right video at the right time to really help you get your coaching business to the next level. And also in the description, there's going to be a link to sign up for a free webinar that I have coming up on how to get more clients that you're not going to want to miss. Okay, so now what is the takeaways and what is the next step that you need to do in order to charge more money? The first thing is you need to understand that math is on your side to increase your pricing. Okay, remember, you want less clients who charge more, not more, or who you charge more, not more clients that you charge less. The math does not work at scale. Okay, because at the end of the day, you're just going to pile on all kinds of clients and you're going to have no money left, all right? The second thing you need to understand is when people pay more, they value it more, so charge more. The third thing is what is the formula for charging more? In my opinion and experience, the formula I like to use is figure out the price elasticity. So 1,000 to 3,000, 3 to 5, 5 to 7, 7 to about 12. And go to the highest level of that price point where you're at, okay? So push it higher and see what happens. The final thing you need to realize is this is not about pricing at all, because I'm willing to bet that there's other people in your coaching niche who are charging more than you, right? Now, you can justify it by saying, well, they got more testimonials, they got more this, they got more that. Well, I'm assuming you're good at what you do. Okay, and I'm assuming you're a good coach and you really care about what you're doing as a coach. So the issue is confidence. Okay, now so many coaches, and this is the final thing, is so many coaches struggle with imposter syndrome. They think I need to charge as little as possible until I get a whole bunch of clients and they'll charge more. Guess what? They never get there because they can never get those clients. So you need to overcome your imposter syndrome and realize you probably are really good at what you do. And it's called confidence. So the confidence comes in, do you believe your pricing is worth it, and get it to that next level. And then when you do your next enrollment call, you just say, hey, it's XYZ because it's worth way more than that. And when you're working with that pie slice of people who are buying based on, hey, is this cheaper to give you $5K or whatever than to continue on with a $10,000 problem? Let's do it. If that makes sense. And that is your ideal client. Those are who you want to target. And that is how you get your pricing higher. All right? It's not some magic trick. That's what I recommend. All right. Now, make sure you stick around. We've got another video coming up. Make sure you hit subscribe and to the channel. Also hit that like button. And then finally check the description under this video and click the link to head over to the webinar that I have coming up on how we use the 300-word ad template for getting clients on Facebook ads, starting on a relatively small budget. All right? See you on the next video.